Good rainy morning. Holy cow. Did any of you get any sleep? Well, hey, we're going to try to get you in a good mood today. We've got a lot of wonderful things planned for you. So, welcome into the show. It's the Real Monica Adams Show. And if you're brand new, welcome aboard. My name is Monica Adams, and I'm your host. And we've been doing this, by the way, for the last 2.5 years, and thrilled to bring you along wherever you are. In fact, let us know if you're watching outside of the St. Louis area and where you are. And for those of you that are diehards, let me know if you by chance are on vacation and out of all the storms. Did any of you get any sleep? I mean, it was nonstop. The dogs were running around in the closet, freaked out a little bit. All of you with two-legged animals, two-legged children, right? Four-legged animals, two-legged children. Were they running around as well, jumping in bed with you? Yeah, a little scary, right? They get a little freaked out. So we're going to talk about the weather, whether that's going to continue throughout the day. We're going to sprinkle in throughout the hour. I'm not going to just heavily load it in the beginning with all the news you can use, but we're going to drop some news in that has to do with us locally, regionally, nationally. Some sports news for all of our Cardinals fans out there. St. Louis City SC played last night, by the way, as well. I know a lot of times you're used to that on the weekend, but if you're a soccer fan, we'll talk about that. Also got some really great news about the Muni and a find that the guy who found this particular thing, he thought it was a candy wrapper. Okay. As he was, those people, they use those metal detectors and they're hunting for different things. So this guy thought this one thing was a candy wrapper. What it turned out to be was amazing and one of the biggest finds at this particular park in over a year. So we'll talk about that. We've got two wonderful features on tap for you today. So the rain does bring gorgeous green, right, to our grass, to outside, also to the flowers. So if you are a big flower fan, we're going to have a wonderful feature for you from Wild Seed Farms. And then for all of you who have served, have somebody in your family that has served, maybe you lost someone that served for us, for our freedom. Memorial Day is right around the corner. So let's remember what that is all about. Let's honor our veterans. And we'll do that with the National Pacific War Museum. And that's all coming up for you this morning. Of course, as you're signing on, and I know it's early, we just got online. Good morning to everyone. Julie, good morning to you. Julie's watching on Facebook and YouTube, it looks like. Kathleen, good morning. Jenny, you had no rain? Wow. Good morning to Sean. So yes, let me know if you had none at all. Maybe it was all more to the south. We definitely got a downpour. And let me show you what's on tap for today. Okay, so you do have, for many in our area, a chance of scattered rain and thunder. So we've had a lot of thunder overnight. 72 for the high, 51 for the low tonight. Tomorrow, though, absolutely beautiful. 71 and sunshine, the pick day for sure of the week. And that's when our own aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore will be back with us. Down to 49. And then on Saturday, City SC back in action again with a gorgeous day on tap. So that stadium will be rocking. 76 for the high, down to 55 for a low. And I've been warning you, so don't say that you didn't know. Get those presents, cards, or again, mom would probably just really love to just be with you. Take things off of her plate. It's Mother's Day on Sunday, 79. It's going to be a beautiful weekend for sure. We do have some slight chances of rain in the evening coming on Monday, 79 for the high. Tuesday, slight chance of showers and 80. Wednesday, gorgeous and warm, by the way, 86, and City SC back in action on Wednesday. And then it looks like rain Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But look at those highs. We are definitely approaching summer with the highs in the 80s. So that's your forecast for today. Again, we're going to sprinkle in some news, and let's start off with the fact that there was black smoke. What does that mean? No Pope has been announced. The billowing smoke showing that to all that was wondering. Has it been announced? Nope. Cardinals failed again this morning to find a successor to Pope Francis. So that sent black smoke billowing up through the Sistine Chapel chimney after two more inconclusive rounds of conclave voting. That black smoke poured out at 11:50 a.m. their time, signaling that the second and third ballots of the conclave had failed to find consensus on a leader for the 1.4 billion member Catholic Church. So that's how they find out. All eyes were on the chimney. And as we mentioned, as we get more information into that story, we'll of course pass that along to you. Raining in St. Peter's, Sean says. Rose, it's thundering. I know, that's what I had. Thundering now. One of the dogs has jumped into my hubby's lap, freaking out. FYI, my dad served 4 years. Oh, thank you. In World War II in Italy. He was in battle, never was the same when he came out. So proud of our veterans. And Rose, thank you. It's so very true. We have got to take care of them. We say it all the time. When they're in and they're serving, it's the identity, it's the job, it's putting on the uniform. And then when they get out, everything that they dealt with, everything that they saw, we've got to take care of our veterans. We've got to do a better job of it. So we are going to honor them today with the really beautiful feature that we did with a brigadier general in Fredericksburg, Texas last week. So we saved some of the experiences for this week. And we also had a chance to sit down with a fabulous restaurant that's on tap tomorrow, Hill and Vine. And I can't wait for you to see that. We're going to make a little ceviche. They're going to teach me some knife skills, which I've been talking about. Talking about food, I don't go to fast food restaurants, but if you do, Burger King is facing a federal lawsuit after customers sue over false Whopper ads. Yeah, there's a judge in Florida that denied Burger King's motion to dismiss this lawsuit from back in 2022. 19 people have sued the fast food chain. They claim that it misled customers by falsely advertising its Whopper and other menu items. The group that argues Burger King advertised their burgers as 35% larger with more meat than the actual burger size. Well, according to the lawsuit, the customers want their money earned from the alleged false advertising and for the company to correct the deceptive behavior. Burger King, of course, has denied all of the customers' claims. I tell you what, people get very creative in their lawsuits these days, don't you think? Okay, you lied to me. I'm going to get my measuring stick out. It's not as big as I thought the burger was supposed to be, so I'm going to sue you. I don't know. Sometimes they're just the stories that make me scratch my head. If you are just tuning in, we've got, again, some beautiful features on tap for you, but just kind of sprinkling some things in the morning. And we're going to stop with this one and then go into our Wild Seed Farms feature. So for all of you that love going to the Lake of the Ozarks, pay attention. If you have been following along, we talked about this in the news actually a couple years back, an amusement park plan, a resort project plan at the Lake of the Ozarks is being pushed back as far as the opening is concerned. The new entertainment district project at the Lake of the Ozarks is underway, but its opening will be later than first as expected. Now, as you're looking at these pictures, let me know what you think. And do you go to the Ozarks a lot? This looks beautiful. It's called Oasis at Lakeport, which will house an amusement park, hotel, conference center, indoor water park. Target is summer 2026 timeframe for its opening. The partners, Skyview, one of the development firms behind the project, they stated that the amusement park and the 1,000 space parking garage will open in the summer months next year, while the water park and the hotel will open in the first quarter of 2027. So you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. I mean, hey, this looks like a huge project, doesn't it? So a little bit more about this. Todd Schneider with Skyview Partners said that the timeline delay was in part due to buying out 2,400 timeshares in a nearby building. That building has finally been knocked down and heavy construction should be back up in June. So we're looking at the construction aspect of this. The year-round entertainment destination plans to feature 25 acres of amusement rides and attractions. I mean, seriously, I can't wait for this to get done. A 402-room Marriott Resort and Conference Center property with a 30,000 square foot conference center, an indoor water park. They will have a bunch of restaurants, of course. It's just a wonderful place for kids and families alike to go to. The indoor water park, the restaurants, the 200 public boat slips, a 1,000 space parking garage. Margaritaville Hotel Kansas City is now taking reservations. The Oasis at Lakeport development was property acquired by Big Thunder Marine back in 2021. That's right there at Highway 54 and Jeffries Road. I know a lot of you that have houses down there, or maybe you go down there, you are familiar with that area. The initial project cost increased actually from $350 million to $450 million. An amphitheater that was in the initial designs for the project, that has now been removed from the plans, but something that's been put in, look at this. Napoli Brothers, which is literally taking on, look, Napoli, Cafe Napoli in Clayton, right? Then they had the second Napoli, which is in Town and Country. They have another one that opened up in St. Charles County. They have one in Kirkwood now, and then they have Napoli Brothers down in Chesterfield. Well, a new 4,755 square foot Napoli Brothers restaurant, again, that St. Louis-based chain, will open on the grounds of Oasis at Lakeport. How cool is this? I mean, This looks stunning, doesn't it? So I think it's worth the wait. Yeah, Jenny said that's a great thing. It doesn't need to be any more crowded. Well, it's coming. It's coming. It's just not coming this year. Good morning, Julie. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Okay, it's 7:11. I've got much more than I'm going to sprinkle in for you. Again, as I mentioned, this diamond hunter that thought what he saw was a candy wrapper and he almost dismissed it. We're going to talk about that coming up for you. We've got sports news coming up, and then we've got our feature on Wild Seed Farms and the National Pacific War Museum. There's no blue water at the lake. You know what, Julie, that is such a good point. I bought my boat, oh my gosh, back in 2009. I've got just a little 18-foot Sea Ray. I bought it specifically to spend time with my mom at Lake St. Louis. However, I'm looking at the water and it's crazy. I mean, look at all the storms we have and then the run over. I swear it used to be so much clearer. For those of you that drive by, whether it's typically Highway 40 and you look over at the lake, doesn't it look really dirty? I don't know. So somebody had asked me, they're like, do you get in there and water ski? And I was like, I don't think so. I'll take the boat out, but I take the boat in and I get it right out. For the people who have slips, and I did one year, I couldn't believe how gross the belly of the boat looked. And I was like, I know people have those scrub your belly places, but I don't know. It just looks, from an aesthetic standpoint, it looked disgusting. So yes, I mean, it's crazy that the water at the Lake of the Ozarks, the water at Lake St. Louis and other places, yes, right? It's a mud bath. I took my mud bath the other day. Y'all want to see that picture? It was crazy. I showed it to Jenny. I looked like I was camouflaged and getting ready for service, actually. It was kind of crazy. All right, it is 7:13. Before we take a break, can we all congratulate the Muni? I am so excited. St. Louis Muni honored with the 2025 Regional Theater Tony Award. The century-old outdoor theater will receive a $25,000 grant as part of the honor. Congratulations to the Muni. If you've never taken your kids or if you've never gone to the Muni, you are missing out, but maybe this is the year to go because the lineup looks incredible. So check out the Muni online so you can see what is on tap. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have a beautiful feature with Wild Seed Farms. Have you ever been? Have you ever heard of them? Have you ever heard of a blue bonnet? If not, we've got a beautiful feature with them, and we've got more news you can use, some sports news that we're going to have coming up, and then our honor in our second half hour with our veterans. I don't care whether you served or someone in your family did in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine, the Coast Guard, any branch. We want to thank you, and I want to thank those at the National Pacific War Museum for having us come last week. Can't wait to show you all of this. Stay tuned. We have so much more to come. Jenny said, stay tuned for Mobile Monica's from the boat. Yes, let's make it a thing.
Carroll House has the furniture you're dreaming of.
For big family gatherings, for entertaining friends, or just hanging out.
For working from home or resting after work.
For kids growing up or young adults moving out.
Whether you're updating your first home, your next home, or your dream home.
Whatever the reason you're shopping, we have the furniture you're dreaming of at Carroll House.
Because you like nice things.
Our Texas Travel Takeover Show continues with the Real Monica Adams team, and today we had to come here. Wild Seed Farms, Wild Seed Vineyards, and we had to talk to the man himself, John Thomas. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Monica.
This is a stop that everybody talks about. So sometimes we say, yes, type in what should you see in certain places. Fredericksburg, Texas, everybody says you have to come here. And they all talk about the Blue Bonnets. So let's go ahead and start with that. The Blue Bonnets we had hoped to see, but this wasn't the best year for them.
Well, our Blue Bonnets on a scale of 1 to 10, they're probably about a 3 this year because of lack of rain last fall, all winter. We're in a historic drought.
Yes.
And you know, being a farmer, I've seen it time and time again. Next year may be fabulous. So,
So we're coming back. We're coming back next year. So 58 years, the idea came about, and I love this story. So John saw people taking pictures of wildflowers, and then he took pictures of people taking pictures. And did you start having juices flow, your brain going, what can I do with this?
Well, a lot of people, you know, when you see people pull over on a busy highway and getting out of the car, going on the roadside, taking pictures of wildflowers, I said, well, there may be a market for that. So I did a little research, and nobody had seed for that. So we had to develop methods of harvesting seed commercially, so people can buy the seeds. So that's what we started 58 years ago, and we're one of the largest, or probably the largest, wildflower seed producer in the U.S. right now.
Which is super impressive. So 58 years ago, when this dream began, did you start smaller and keep evolving and growing?
Yes. We started small in a little farming community, and then I got 10 acres, 20 acres. We're up to about 1,000 acres of wildflowers in Texas.
And okay, when you come to Wild Seed Farms, by the way, you need to give yourself some time. We are seeing so much and trying to show you so much in a short period of time, but when you come, take some time. I told John that when you walk through the walking trail, and it's about a quarter mile?
Yeah, it's a quarter mile.
Take your time and be present and do your meditation, or maybe you do some prayer. I bet you sometimes people get emotional as they walk through.
Yeah,
because you've got a hummingbird area and a butterfly area, which we always hear are signs from above.
That's right. I've had about 35 people so far since March propose in our garden area.
That's of course it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, and then the vineyards. I love the sign. It all talks about where extraordinary and excellence come together.
Yes. We started growing grapes about 15, 20 years ago because our soil is real good. If you'll notice, the wine business is really picking up in the central part of Texas.
Amazing.
And they needed somebody to produce more grapes because they're selling a lot of wine. And we fit that bill, and we started growing grapes. We're now one of the largest grape growers in the county. So.
Who knew? My husband literally said, wait a minute, how are they growing grapes and wine in the desert? But
we have drip irrigation.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you really do. I mean, it all depends on the soil, the climate. There's so much that plays into it. That's why everybody talks about certain vintages.
Exactly.
That's what it's about, right? So again, John Thomas, the owner of Wild Seed. So when people come here, they can walk outside, enjoy the time in nature, see the wildflowers, hopefully maybe in future years, see the blue bonnets, but then inside.
At least 4 hours here because in 4 hours you're not going to see everything. But we make our own wine, we make our own beer. It's something for everybody. Our motto is come for the flowers and stay for the atmosphere.
What are you most proud of in almost 6 decades?
Well, my wife, when I started growing wildflowers, I was production only. A retail store wasn't even on my Richter scale. So when we bought this land here, my wife Marilyn said, grow some flowers. All I want's a little bitty gift shop. And you can see that's gotten out of hand.
Women get what they want, John.
That's right. That's right.
And by the way, do not try to pick a bluebonnet and take it home. That's illegal. Don't do that.
Well,
get some seeds from Wild Seed.
Yeah, well, get some seed, because if you pick the flower, that's where the seed comes from. Therefore, you've damaged that plant where it can't produce seed.
And this
so
is
let
important.
it go to seed.
We actually walked through the gift shop first, and we went straight back to where the seeds are. And I said, John, what do you think? Can I bring the seeds of bluebonnet back to St. Louis, or would they not do well there? They wouldn't do well. So you've got a mixture, and it depends on where we're from.
Yeah, you go to our website. We have 7 regional mixes. If you look at where your spot is, whether it be the zone or the location, we'll have a whole list of flowers that you've got a fighting chance for them to grow. But bluebonnet, you don't see a lot of bluebonnet in the St. Louis area, and there's a reason why. You get a little cold, your soil is a little acid. Yeah. Bluebonnets don't like either.
Nope. So we're not doing that, but we are going to get some seeds, and we'll bring back some wildflowers mix, a seed mix, and then I'm going to keep sending you pictures and say, look what we did from St. Louis to Texas. Well, before we wrap up, welcome all of the people that are just finding out about you. What would you want to tell them to welcome them in to see what you have provided us?
Well, first of all, come to Fredericksburg.
Yes.
There's a lot to see. It's a beautiful community. But we've been here 31 years, and it's just a wonderful place to be a part of. And we're just part of what you're going to see in Fredericksburg. Fredericksburg's a special place, special part of Texas. We call it the hill country of Texas, and our gate is always open.
I love it. And here's the thing, that Southern hospitality, it's a real thing, folks. But I got to tell you, we have been in Fredericksburg for a very short period of time, doing all of this in just a 3-day period. But I literally was only here for 2 hours and said, I want to move to Fredericksburg. These people are so nice.
Come on.
I love small business, lifting up small business.
Yeah.
Sir, thank you. It was an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, I wish I had 4 hours, but we're just coming back. My husband and I said it's just going to be he and I enjoying some time and finding the balance in life. So again, Wild Seed Farms, put them on your list when you come to visit Fredericksburg, Texas. And again, we are continuing our Texas Travel Takeover show, so don't go anywhere. Thank you so much, John. And by the way, speaking of our veterans, keep this on the calendar. The 3rd annual Dudes Playground Poker Run coming up on June 21st at noon. We had a great conversation with the owner of Dudes Playground, Rich Melching, yesterday. And everything that's getting planned for this is just amazing. And more of the community coming out. We're talking about free food and entertainment from Bandanas, from Trattoria Giuseppe, from Silo's Bar, and anybody else that can donate some food for this. We're expecting an epic turnout. That's what we want, because all vehicles are welcome, not just motorcycles. A lot of time when there's a poker run, people might think, oh, okay, so it's motorcycles. No, all vehicles. We would love to see those classic cars, sports cars. We don't care. Everybody come out. It's $10 per poker hand. All vehicles are welcome. 50-50 will take place as well. So they're going to leave Dudes Playground right about 1 o'clock, and then they will make 3 stops. Come back. It's probably about 100 miles total in all the different stops as they then come back to Dudes Playground. It's going to be a blast, and they're going to have wonderful music as well from Two Pedros. Those are 2 brothers that I hear do all different types of music, dance music, you name it. And then the Sparklers at 9:15 in the evening. It's going to be a big time. By the way, though, today, and maybe the fish will be hopping after the rain, they are having a fish fry. In fact, Dudes Playground just started that at 7 o'clock this morning. So you might want to go over there if you're looking for some fishing as well as a fish fry. So that's all taking place today. Rich, I hope you have a wonderful turnout. All right, folks, it's 7:23. Again, welcome. There's about 32 of you on right now, all of our different formats. Facebook, we've got YouTube, we have LinkedIn, X, Rumble, Instagram as well. So feel free to make a comment on any of those. A lot of people on X have a tendency to just watch. They're not as interactive. Feel free to talk. We want to interact with you. So any questions, any comments, let us know. Jeannie, who's become a big time from Texas, everything's bigger in Texas, a big time viewer. We appreciate it. She said that she goes to Wild Seed often, and it's a great place. We can't wait to go back, by the way. It's going to be a wonderful time. And she said she gets her seeds from there as well. Love that place. And I love John and his Southern hospitality. So if you go there a lot, Jeannie, or anyone else, when you travel to Fredericksburg, go to Wild Seed Farms and ask them about the pontoon boat that they just took off the water, and they are now going to pull it through the vineyards. How cool is this? You're on a boat. They have drinks, I think a couple of glasses of wine, and then you go through the vineyards and see the beautiful vineyards. So they just posted about that. So be sure to follow Wild Seed Farms online. All right, we're continuing to give you information about things that are going on in the world while we mix in some really beautiful pieces from the experience side of what we had in Texas. But before we continue that, I was teasing something that was found. And if you see this and you're a hunter, the guy almost dismissed it. He thought this was a candy wrapper. Turned out to be a 4-carat gem. This was in Murfreesboro, Arkansas. He got a sweet surprise, did he not? When what he thought was that candy wrapper on the ground turned out to be the biggest diamond that he's ever found. But the more they looked into it, the park actually said it was the biggest that had been found in over a year. The man's name is David DeCook. He was visiting Arkansas's Crater of Diamonds State Park with his family. He spotted what he initially thought was a glimmering candy wrapper. And then he got closer and closer, and he said he knew what he had found. almost a 4-carat brown diamond. Stirring up some sibling rivalry, he called out to his brother, "Oh, you're going to be mad once you see what I found." According to Arkansas State Park, many visitors choose to name the diamonds they find at the park. And so he decided to name his gem, you're going to love this, Rich, the Duke Diamond. And he named it after his dog. By the way, the Duke Diamond is the 217th diamond registered at the park this year. According to Arkansas State Park, the 3 most common color of diamonds found are white, brown, and yellow in that exact order. So the Duke Diamond. And I guess Rich would have called his the Dude Diamond, right? I thought that was kind of cool. So that's a fun story for you of the day. This one has to be in the nutrition level of those that watch in our audience. Weight Watchers filing for bankruptcy. 62-year-old diet program just announced that this week that they entered Chapter 11. During the process, they said operations for members will continue as normal. The company expects to emerge in about 40 days as a publicly traded company with its massive $1.5 billion, billion with a B, folks, in debt that they have eliminated. Weight Watchers has struggled to keep up with more convenient weight loss options, including the GLP-1 drugs, right? We talk about Ozempic and Mounjaro and all of those. In fact, we will be doing a live Mobile Monica with Dr. Shadi Hawatma talking about these GLP-1 drugs and the myths that are out there. But with regard to Weight Watchers, again, the most recent earnings from February revealed a 12% decline in members. By the way, let me go a little bit more into that Mobile Monica. I would love for you to come to Osiris Med Spa when it's time for you to really take control of your weight. As a diabetic, as a morbidly obese person, as an obese person, Dr. Hawatma will not put you on one of these GLP-1 drugs to lose 5-10 pounds. He'll send you somewhere else. He will not want you to just buy it online and think you can inject yourself. That is a no-no, folks. You have got to be followed by someone in the medical field. Make sure that they're taking care of you and they can debunk the myths that are out there. So Dr. Hawatma and I will sit down. That will not be a 7 a.m. show that day. It will be an 8 a.m. show, and he will be so informative. He is so intelligent and, more importantly, just so approachable, which is what I love about him. That one's coming up this month, okay? So that is on May 21st at 8 a.m. By the way, if you want to know where our Mobile Monicas are, visit my website. My team does a great job keeping everything up to date for you. TheRealMonicaAdams.com, and then click on the event section. And that way you can know where we're going to be. Our first one will be May 17th, and we will be at Weingarten Vineyards. We were just talking about how much we love all the wineries in Fredericksburg, Texas. This one's in St. Genevieve. So come on out, Weingarten Vineyard. Doesn't it look stunningly gorgeous under new management, new family? We sat down last year with Joe Thomaser, and he said, "I will be back, Monica." Well, we're going to go to him. And the music lineup, by the way, for the day that we're there is Baker and Margot. But this weekend, if you want to go, because it's really going to be beautiful for Mother's Day weekend, Abigail Tate will be playing not only on the 10th, but back on the 25th. And then Vince Martin wraps up the month of May on the 31st. If you haven't made plans yet, and I'm not sure if they still have tickets, but you might want to check Mother's Day brunch at Weingarten Vineyards. And I know a lot of you like to take mom to brunch on Mother's Day. Beautiful brunch buffet and mimosa bar. Reservations are recommended. This one's going to be from 10 to 4. So if you're looking for something to do for Mother's Day and a new place maybe to go, there you go, Weingarten Vineyard. So that's May 17th, May 21st at Osiris Med Spa, May 28th. Still looking for a couple of models. We've got a few of them that are secured, but do you want a makeover? Do you want a before and after? Have you always wanted to say, I just want to level up what I wear, but I don't have the eye for it? Let Diana and Laura and Sue and all of the team at the Vault Luxury Resale in that Brentwood, Richmond Heights area, let them do it for you. So May 28th, you got to be available to me at 7 a.m. And then a week before, you'll go in and they will pick out the outfits for you. We've got another opportunity coming up in July for men and women both. So email info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Send me some information if you are interested and you just need a little bit more information on it. For you, I would like for all shapes, sizes, ethnicities, etc. So if you are interested in that, again, just shoot me an email. If there are topics or guests that you would like on the show, shoot me an email for that. If you're interested in sponsorship or having us do a Mobile Monica from your business, that's the same email address as well. Okay, in some sports news. St. Louis Cardinals were in action, and I know a lot of you are looking for them to turn the season around, especially since the upper management said that this was a reset season. And I know that didn't sit well with a lot of people. They're paying their hard-earned money and they're like, are you just phoning it in? Well, they didn't phone it in last night. Look at that. Cardinals beating the Pirates. Pittsburgh's in town. 5-0 was the final. So tomorrow it's the Cardinals, excuse me, and the Nationals. The game will be at 5:45. And then on Saturday, they've got an afternoon game between the Cardinals and the Nationals. That first pitch will be at 3:05. And I mentioned the city was in action last night. St. Louis City SC, they had a win as well, beating the Union Omaha team 2-0. St. Louis and San Diego FC on tap Saturday at 7:30, and then another Wednesday game next week against Sporting KC. Wednesday's game will be at 7:45. All right, folks, I'm going to take a quick drink of water. Anybody else having some problems with sore throats and sinus drainage? I think there's a lot of pollen that's out there. I'm not usually one that has problems with allergies, but it's definitely kicking my butt, right? Anybody else, you feel my pain, you have it as well? I'll be looking at some comments. Jeannie said, I'll ask. Thank you. You bet. We love that you have been there. And I love that you support Wild Seed. We're going to come back and we've got a really beautiful piece. And I want to thank our director and our editor, Zach Kimball. Doesn't he do a wonderful job? Jenny Egan does a wonderful job moderating for you, producing for us, being my right-hand girl. So we've got some really wonderful things planned for the rest of 2025 and still looking into 2026 as well. For all of you that know someone that has served, if you served, first of all, let me just put it out there to every one of you, men and women alike, for whatever branch you served in, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for our freedom, right? We wouldn't have that if it wasn't for you. And we want to make sure you are taken care of. So we would be remiss if we didn't go and visit the National Pacific War Museum. I wish we would have had a longer time, but the Brigadier General that I had a chance to sit down with, he said, Monica, we're really well known in Fredericksburg, Texas, but do us a favor, take your platform and let everyone know that when they come to Fredericksburg, please to come see us and to spread the word all across the nation, not just in the US, but all across the nation, that we're here. And they have been there for a while now. They've got something planned later this year that we'll talk about, and then 2 new exhibits. And that's what we're going to feature when we come back.
Hey guys, I just want to tell you, being on the Monica Adams show has just been a delight. It's been a joy. What she's doing for the community is amazing. I'm so proud to be sitting in this blue chair, being honored and honoring the people for the showcase that I'm doing for the Neiman Marcus Black Creatives in the Lou Black History Month Showcase. I want to end this segment with a poem that I wrote. I grew up on the north side. That's where it all started. Dreams, goals, and aspirations grew within me, and they never departed. You see, my environment was jaded, but that never fazed me, because what my parents instilled in me made my dreams go crazy. Mama was my cheerleader, and Papa gave me the tools. Everything could be yours, they would say. Just make sure you follow these rules. Work hard, don't look back, and keep your mind set on stable. And if you can't find yourself somewhere to sit, create your own table. Thank you, Monica, for creating this table. Take care. Be blessed.
So we are doing our Texas Travel Takeover Show, and I love that you've been following along with us, all the amazing things that you can see. We're starting here at the National Pacific War Museum, and then we're going to take you outside and go to the Japanese Peace Garden. Nicole, by the way, thank you so much for having us. And this is fairly new. This was in March you had the ribbon cutting?
Yes. Well, first off, welcome. We're so excited to have you, Monica. This is our newest submersive experience. So it's called The Rescue, and this is really our foray into how we are reinterpreting storytelling.
Right.
We're getting you in there, we're getting you in this vivid environment where you're immersed completely in sights and sounds and feelings a little, and you're just connecting to a story in a completely new way.
And so we're all talking about stories and experiences here and the legacy which you'll experience when you come to the entire exhibit here at the National Pacific War Museum. How do you take us and immerse us into what feels like the real life experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we worked with some really wonderful vendors, and we were able to create 3 rooms for you to travel in time, essentially. You start in a Filipino guerrilla hut, and you were guided by a true story. That is the framework of this. Everything we're telling here is a true story. So your guide is an 8-year-old girl. Her name is Berna Rial, and she leads you through the jungle. You're evading enemy patrols, and she's getting you eventually to a submarine rescue where her and 39 other refugees are rescued off the island of Negros in the Philippines and taken over to Australia. So in order to take you on this journey, we want to put you there. So we're getting you through 3 rooms. First you're in a hut, then you move to the jungle, and eventually you find yourself on a submarine.
On a submarine. So as people have been coming since March and they experience each aspect of it, again, we've been talking about emotions. I mean, how do you not have a whole level of emotions? Have you had families that have come that have said, I have family that was a part of this, and this is so real from what I've been told?
I think that's been the funnest part, honestly, is because this is for the family. It's an adventure for everyone. So seeing families come out, there are often times where we'll have family members weeping. It's an emotional experience, but then we also have kids going, oh my gosh, that was so cool. And so that's what we want to do. We want to have a touch point to every visitor, to the widest demographic possible. And we are inspiring and educating in that way. We want them to go on further to learn a little bit more about the war in the Pacific and why it's still, I think it's the whole thing. You get this pre-post show exhibit and an opportunity to learn about submarines, to learn about the silent service, and then some of the characters that you'll encounter in the experience. And then it's just a cherry on top. And then you come out, and this really is just one of the steps in our upcoming major renovation of our George H.W. Bush Gallery. So we're modernizing, and we are creating more of these immersive experiences, more interactives like the Sub Chaser game, to, like I said, get those people involved and really inspire them to learn more, especially about the relevance. It's as important today as it was in the 40s, and we have to make sure that these next generations know that.
And I love the fact you use relevance, because that's so important, that we always keep it relevant, that we never forget,
Right.
but that it's also, if you can talk about the word inspiration, inspiring younger generation to say, I want to serve my country.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah, that unity and the patriotism at the end of it. That's our job as a museum, to really tell the truth, highlight the stories, and then inspire our visitors.
You gonna go in here with me?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Folks, we told you we're going to show you so much of Fredericksburg, Texas, and we could not leave here without showing you the historical side. And I'm so thrilled. Thank you for having us, by the way.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us.
No, this is amazing. And so before we even go and show you a couple of new pieces and pieces that have been here that are staples, I want to have everybody know the story behind why Fredericksburg, Texas, right?
Well, thank you, Monica. Thank you and your team for joining us here today at the Admiral Nimitz Foundation and National Museum of the Pacific War. We are here because Fleet Admiral Chester Nimitz, who is a hero of the Second World War in the Pacific, was born in Fredericksburg, Texas in 1885. He was raised by his grandfather, went to the Naval Academy, and then had an excellent career in the Navy, and then got selected by the president to go take over the Fleet of the Pacific after the attacks on Pearl Harbor on the 7th of December.
See, so that's why. And I tell you what, people have talked about, wait till you see it, Monica. Everyone is so proud, locals and people who are tourists alike. We're going to show a couple of aspects today. So this is what we're in, is the Japanese Peace Garden.
Correct.
Right? Okay, let's take a look at this a little bit as we talk about the emotional side of things, the meditative side of things, the prayer side of things, however many things people come, you think about being affected, someone in your family that fought for us, the true heroes. And thank you, by the way, before we even start, for your own service.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Monica. So this is our Japanese Garden of Peace, is a gift from the people of Japan to the people of America. So we're very, very honored that it happens to be in our custody here with the Admiral Nimitz Foundation, National Museum of the Pacific War in Fredericksburg, Texas.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that I love the most, and this shows true heroes, that the memorial aspect, he didn't want to be about him.
Right.
It was about those that fought.
Those who served with him, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the conditions when the city leaders asked to have a museum here in his honor. He was clear that one of the conditions was it not be to honor him, but to be those 7 million men and women who served with him in the Pacific Theater.
Absolutely. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the National Pacific War Museum. Is this 6 acres?
Yes, we have 6 acres of campus. We have the Admiral Nimitz Gallery, which is in his grandfather's hotel. We have the George H.W. Bush Gallery, which tells the story of the Pacific War. Our memorial courtyard, where we honor 2,000 veterans of the Second World War, particularly in the Pacific Theater. Our Garden of Peace, and then down the street here we have what we call our Pacific Combat Zone, where we do live reenactments.
How often?
We do them on a quarterly basis.
Oh, I love that. Again, there's so much to see here, and when we walked in, it was you can be here for a few hours, you can be here for a couple of days,
yes,
and then continue to come back and see something new and honor someone else. So the significance again of this, and then you've got to tell the story about this behind us.
Yes.
No nails that are in this at all.
So Admiral Nimitz had a great respect for Admiral Togo, who was a hero of the Japanese Navy. They had met in 1905, and then Admiral Nimitz attended his funeral in 1932. And there was a mutual respect between them. On VJ Day, Admiral Nimitz, after having accepted the surrender of Imperial Japan, visited Admiral Togo's flagship, the Mikasa, and found that it had been vandalized. So he posted Marines there to make sure that the ship was protected. Then he petitioned the Japanese government to start a foundation to restore the ship to honor Admiral Togo, which they did. He made the first donation to that foundation. And at the Mikasa, which is still sitting there in Tokyo Bay, you will find there's a plaque honoring Chester Nimitz. So there's a reciprocation between a mutual respect between the Japanese people and Admiral Nimitz.
And you were telling us about this rock. This says what?
This says One Heart Pond. And in Japanese, one heart means loyalty. That we are one heart together.
And that's the thing, some people will go, oh, interesting, so Japanese Garden of Peace. So yes, I mean, that's really, as a world, that's what we're trying to do, is bond back together.
Well, we're telling the whole story, how the war began, what were the seeds of that conflict, and then how it transpired and transacted, and the end of the war, the surrender of the war, and then the idea was that unconditional surrender to achieve everlasting peace. And that's what we have. We are allies and friends now. So we were former adversaries, but now we're allies and friends. And this is representative of that. So this is the capstone to the story, is the peace that has come from that conflict and the relationship that we now have with the people of Japan.
And that's right. We know you and I have been talking as we've been walking through stories and experiences is what this is all about.
Absolutely.
So This part has been here how long?
This was dedicated in May of 1976.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's almost 50 years old.
Right.
And you asked me earlier, but I missed it. This is a replica of Admiral Togo's study. It was assembled or manufactured in Japan, disassembled, brought to Fredericksburg, Texas with a group of Japanese workers who then reassembled it. There are no nails in it.
That's amazing. That in itself, I mean, take a little while to look at that. So the people have been coming here for almost 50 years.
50 years, yes.
What do you hear from this alone as they walk through and their experience?
I think first they're surprised that what they perceive as a history museum or a war museum actually has a garden of peace. And then of course they can find the tranquility of this space, the water, the koi pond, and the way in which the rocks are managed. These are meant to represent the Pacific Ocean with the islands in the Pacific Ocean. So we have the benches, of course, you can sit and have a peaceful. meditative experience. I think it's a great way to cap off having seen the horrors of war and that story, to come here and kind of let all that go.
You just gave me a last question. I was going to ask you, when you have people come here, how do you, I mean, everyone's going to do the experience on their own,
Sure.
but if you said, this is how I would experience the Pacific War Museum, it would be that way. Because that you want to end in peace.
Sure. I would start with the Nimitz Gallery, which begins with the story of Admiral Nimitz and his connection to Fredericksburg, which explains why we're here and gives you a great deal of admiration for who he was and his role in leading us to victory during the Second World War. And then come learn more about the seeds of conflict, how the war began, how we rallied, and how he helped lead our country to victory. And then come out and honor, as he wanted you to do, he'd come out and honor those who served and sacrificed with him.
Well, and one of the things, as people walk through, and I do want to tell this story before we wrap up, there are so many pictures and stories, and you go back, and whether it's your family member or not your family member, you thank them for what they did for us. But you have so many families represented. You're still trying to get word out for people to be a part of the organizations that you have. And we were talking about AI and how AI is actually helping you.
Yes. So we believe there are 128 million Americans. First of all, we're all living in the legacy of the service and sacrifice of our World War II veterans.
Yes.
The world that we live in, the America we live in today, is a result of their sacrifice. We are the greatest level of peace and prosperity in the world's history, thanks to their service and sacrifice. And so this is the place in which you get to honor that. We believe there are 128 million Americans who are direct descendants of those 16 million members Americans that served in the Second World War. And we are the sole proprietors of Society of Sons and Daughters. Out of those 128 million, they're eligible. We've recently only had barely 300.
Yeah.
And that's because we had an outdated system that was all very manual. It was 1945 technology, and so I'm being full disclosure here. It was handwritten applications, a photocopy of some sort of evidence that your veteran had served, and then a check. And we've completely automated that process now, so you can go online, you can apply virtually, and then get approved virtually. You'll get a certificate and recognized. We have a portal now that demonstrates you'll be able to go in and see the history of your veteran, the documents associated with his service, his or her service, and then you can also upload additional documentation if you have artifacts, records from your loved one. And we've been able to go in and use AI to very quickly look at where previously we just had a name and dates of service and a photo. We use AI to find out, in a particular case, a sailor named Albert. We found out that he's on a ship's roster from LST 812 that we know was commissioned in 1944, served at Iwo Jima, served at Okinawa, was decommissioned in 1946. So we get to use this power of technology to bring together these legendary stories.
Well, and as you said, sir, it is stories that probably family members had. I didn't know this, and I didn't know how to find all of this. Right? They're trying to look through things.
Exactly.
So much to see again, and we're going to show you just a couple of the exhibits of what you can walk through. Again, put this on your list when you come to visit Fredericksburg, Texas. Young and old alike. It's teaching the younger ones to understand. How many people have you had come here, sir, that have been younger, that have looked and with their dads, with their grandparents, and have said, do you understand what he did or what she did? And then maybe they're the ones that say, now I want to serve.
Well, that's the real power of what we get to do in our memorial courtyard. And that is we do a little ceremony every time we dedicate a plaque. family members come and attend, and so those younger generations get to see how their parents and grandparents are honoring the service of their veteran, and that can't help but influence.
Yes.
You know,
And we need that.
their role in legacy. I believe it's about legacy.
Yes.
And so each of us gets to honor the legacy of those who served in the Second World War and demonstrate to our legacy, our children or grandchildren, how we honor the legacy of ours.
And before we wrap up, you're going to be putting an invitation out to our former President Bush, because
Yes.
you have something really special coming up to honor. Well, we look at his father,
Sure.
and then all of the presidents that played a role during the conflict.
Correct.
But you're wanting him to come in December?
Yes, we've sent an invitation to George W. Bush. Our gallery, the George H.W. Bush, was dedicated in 2009. George H.W. Bush was here to commemorate that event. And so as we rededicate, we're doing a $15 million renovation, which is going to take the old artifacts out and bring them back in a reimagined fashion to be more interactive and connective with that younger generation, which is a big target for us. And so we're inviting George W. Bush to come back and be a part of that ceremony.
We're going to tag him on this
on the anniversary. Yeah, please do. Please do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is amazing. And again, spend some time. Bring the family. We were talking about how there's something for everyone in Fredericksburg, Texas. This is one of the areas I would really love for you to bring your family to. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much,
And thank you for your
Monica.
service
Thank you.
again.
Thank you.
you all so much. Again, it's our Travel Texas Takeover Show. I'm trying to show you as much as we possibly can here in Fredericksburg, Texas.
Carroll House Furniture homes look the best because of our free design service. Our designers please your taste.
Let's reimagine your room with 50 brand name choices.
We'll create a 3D design with a 360 view for your room.
Free design services are just the beginning. Free 0% financing, fast free delivery and setup, and the guaranteed lowest prices in the country with no stipulations.
You'll get a perfect custom floor plan for your new dream room.
Carroll House Design, because you like nice things.
Well, welcome back as we are in the wrap up of our show. I'm going to go to the comments now. What did you think of those two experiences? Doesn't it make you want to go to Fredericksburg, Texas? I would think so. And, Jenny just sent me a text and said, even if you're not into history, it looks so peaceful and so beautiful. Absolutely. And we only scratched the surface, folks. You need some time there. Obviously, we were very limited. We drove down 14 plus hours to Fredericksburg, Texas. It is a really wonderful drive if you have somebody helping. So Jim drove, I drove on the way down. On the way back, we had Zach drive a little bit. And so it really cut up some time. And let me say this, on the way back, we stopped into the rest stop in Oklahoma, and I looked up on the wall. Actually, Jim looked up on the wall and he's like, "Hey, Monica, there's your girl." So I'm a big Reba McEntire fan. People have asked me in my career who has been either some of or who is my favorite interview in my career. And that's Reba. And it's me blessed to have interviewed her 3 times in my career. But one in particular was in New York many years ago when she played on Broadway, Annie Get Your Gun, right? Annie Oakley. And so it was just her and I back when I worked at WIL sitting down. It was a wonderful piece. And so I'm a big Reba fan. So when we stop into this rest stop, there's a huge picture of her on the wall. And when Jim said, "There's your girl," the lady heard that and she said, "Oh, if you're a Reba fan, up ahead in Atoka, Oklahoma is Reba's place." And I thought, how the heck do I not know about this? So I don't watch The Voice and a lot of things right now, but I've been told that she talked about it. So we did go and stop into Atoka, Oklahoma, which has the cutest little main street. So now I'm on a mission to go do a mobile Monica takeover of Atoka, Oklahoma, and then get Reba on the show. Reba, make this happen. I'd love to have a 4th interview with you. So if you're a Reba McEntire fan, it was so much fun. And I just want to thank everybody. We have one final piece that we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to sit down with the owner of Hill and Vine and the chef of Hill and Vine. We're going to do our Foodie Friday and make a little ceviche. So I'm going to help him along with that. And then we'll wrap up the wonderful Texas Travel Takeover show that we did. And then again, what we're looking for in the fall is, where do you want us to go next. So shoot me an email. Where would you like the next Mobile Monica to be? And it can be anywhere in the world, truly. I've done shows in Italy. I've done shows in Cabo San Lucas. We obviously were just in Texas. We did some original Mobile Monicas in Kansas City. So if you have a place that you would like us to showcase, shoot me an email here, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com, and let's do a Mobile Monica anywhere, takeover shows anywhere. And then, of course, as you're seeing here on the bottom, the Mobile Monicas right here in town, where we take our audience and bring it to your audience. You'll end up being on 6 different platforms, folks. We're talking about thousands of views and eyes on your business. Wouldn't you love that? I would think so. So shoot me an email. If you'd also like to become a regular sponsor of the show, we've got segments like Medical Monday. We have Wellness or Workout Wednesdays. We have our Fridays where we do fitness or friendship, and then foodie and fashion, and you name it. You could come up with a segment that we do on a regular basis or kind of sporadic basis. So the biggest thing you can do is share, like, follow. Make sure you click on that follow button so that you get notified when we are going on live. All right. So we're going to take our final break and then we'll come back. And today we're going to read from Jesus Listens. These are the devotionals that we wrap up our show with. And then I'm going to look at your comments, make sure that you are heard before we wrap up. And then, of course, if you watch this later, because again, I want all of your family and friends to see the beautiful piece on the National Pacific War Museum. Thank you to Nicole. Thank you to Brigadier General Steve Zalazar, which I have to say, my husband's like, he was a brigadier general and you didn't introduce him to me that way. We were in such a flurry of bringing all this equipment in that I introduced him. And then I was told that they talked on their own. I did not know. Jim is obviously very big into history and to those that have served. He would have loved to have talked to him for hours. So we're just going to have to go back and you'll have to talk with him. But again, thank a service member today. Tell them thank you for what they've done for our lives. You can't thank them enough, by the way.
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
And by the way, if you know that beautiful girl right there that I have had the honor of calling my baby sis, that's no, she's not really my adopted sister, but we feel like we're each other's sister. Tomorrow is her birthday, and I'm super excited to take her tomorrow to see Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations. And we had a chance to talk with Robert Crenshaw about a week ago. Love these entertainment pieces that we do with the Fabulous Fox. We'll be hopefully sprinkling in some stuff when the Muni starts back up. We do some stuff with movies. I was a movie entertainment reporter for a couple of years with Channel 5. So we're wanting all those things to come back, bring bands in. I mean, you name it. It is going to be a show moving forward of everything you've ever wanted. Positivity first and foremost, shining spotlights on incredible small businesses, and then mixing in all these lifestyle pieces for young and old alike. All right, before we get into Jesus Listens, let me look at our comments. Rose asked, Monica, do you have anything on your bucket list? Yes, to hike Machu Picchu. I wanted to do that 4 years ago, but during the pandemic, they had closed it down. I need to have it done sooner than later because I understand that it's eroding and maybe you won't have the opportunity. So Rose, that's definitely on my bucket list. And then as soon as I do that, I will continue to add. I've done a lot of things in my career and in my personal life, so I feel very blessed for that. So great question. Jeannie, dang, I hate that. I always follow their healthy eating. Weight Watchers, huh? Yeah. Let's see. Jenny, again, doing a wonderful job dropping in everything. Let's see. Weight Watchers started losing folks once they offered shots, Jeannie said. Okay, interesting that you say that. I love that promo with him, Julie says. I don't remember which promo that was. I'll have to figure out what that was. Audra, love the Vault Luxury Resale. Looking forward to it. Yes, that again is going to be on May 28th. And then we do one in July on the 18th at the NCJW. Wonderful resale shop. If you haven't been there on North Lindbergh. Jenny said, we love you, Zach. We did. He is a hard worker. I just love how far he's come. Oh, by the way, I want to welcome in new interns coming from the University of Missouri, Columbia, my alma mater, MIZ. ZOU. So Lexi and Miranda coming. Gabriel, who I met when I spoke at St. Charles Community College, he's joining us. And I think we may have one more. So my internship program with the new interns starting at the end of this month and into the 1st of June. So we'll be sprinkling in and hopefully bringing them on so you can meet them as well. If you have someone that would like to do an internship with me, shoot me an email, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com, whether they are here locally or, my very first intern was actually from Syracuse in New York. Jeannie, my heart is with the military. I spent my younger years working for the Navy Department in Alexandria. I loved it so much I joined the Naval Reserves. So proud of all who have served and are serving our nation. Couldn't have said it better, Jeannie. Absolutely. All right, let me look. Rose, St. Louis, the worst place for allergies. Yeah, I was talking about, I don't normally have allergies, so it surprises me. According to meteorologists, pollen is up worse than it's ever been. All right, maybe that's it. My sons and I wake up every morning miserable. Pollen's all over my patio furniture. Amen to that. I tell people visiting, welcome to St. Louis. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what I'm dealing with this morning. It's so crazy. Let me see. Jenny. Whoa. Jenny is just working her butt off, right? Her little fingers going crazy. The promo with the young man from the winery. Oh, okay, Julie, yes. Joe Thomaser. Are you talking about Joe from Weingarten? Yes, he is the best. He's so silly as well. So if you didn't get a chance to get your question or comment, I will go back and look at everything on all of our platforms. Just looking over at Instagram real quick. Somebody put a bunch of smiley faces. Orlando, sorry that I missed you earlier. We also have some beautiful models coming up. Yes, we sure do. Marilyn. Oh, Marilyn, how are you, my friend? Great segment. Would love to visit sometime. Texas was my dad's favorite state. You got to go and be sure to let them know. So I just want to thank, if you didn't get a chance to see the reel that I put out, check that out. And that's not even all. We did an original reel when we were traveling down. And so I just want to thank, let me see if I can go through all of these in my head. Fritztown Farms. We had such a wonderful time with Josh and Haley. And then if you're looking for a place to stay, Fritztown Farms or Wine Barrel Cabins is what I recommend. Want to thank Josh and Carrie and Lena at Wine Barrel Cabins. We also want to thank the beautiful ladies, Kelsey and Hannah at Felt Boutique, where we got our custom hats. And you'll be seeing those on me more and more. You're going to see them on Zach because he is so proud of that hat for sure. We stopped into a beautiful place. Wasn't part of our feature, but it's called Vaudeville, and it's right there on Main Street. Holy cow, their food was great. Really amazing. And then they have 2 different levels. One, a more kind of a gift shopping area, but higher end. And then a gallery up top that was really cool. We had a chance to feature Caliche Coffee. John is the owner, and we loved him. He also owns Otto's, which is a German bistro, and Alla Campagna Italian restaurant. And so if you type in where to go in Fredericksburg, Texas, his restaurants regularly come up. So, kudos to you. They also were featured in Wine Enthusiast magazine, which was pretty amazing. The experience side, again, thank you to John Thomas with Wild Seed Farms. Thank you to Nicole Bagley and Brigadier General Steve Salazar with the National Pacific War Museum. And thank you all, by the way, that played a role in setting that up for us. To Amanda Kuhn, I can't thank you enough, from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Let's see. We also went to Hill and Vine. So we want to thank Jesse and Sarah and Chef Mike. And that's what you're going to see tomorrow, our Foodie Friday segment with Hill and Vine. And then thank you to Nicole, another Nicole, that sat down with us from Becker Vineyards. And thank you to Austin Kerr from Coordinates Vineyards. Did I get them all? It's kind of like when you accept an award and you're like, did I forget anybody? I don't think I did. If I did, I'm so sorry. But we did a really beautiful piece showcasing as much as we could in my reel last night. So check that out. Stephanie, thank you for the fun mobile Monica. I hate allergies. Reba McIntyre is awesome. Yes. Have a fabulous day, Jeannie. Thanks for tuning in. I won't let her take that one. It's so happy and makes you laugh. Let's see. I won't let her take that one out. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Joe, there's so many comments coming in that I'm trying to remember what's what. All right, everybody, let me read your devotional, and then we'll get ready for our big foodie show tomorrow. It's a good one. Chef Mike is so talented. I can't wait for you to see it. And if you have a restaurant, by the way, or a chef that you would like for us to feature, email me for these upcoming Foodie Fridays. We're going to be taping some of those or doing them live from Slyman Brothers Kitchen, South County, West County as well. And then going to different restaurants like we did Trattoria Giuseppe. We've gone to Casa Don Alfonso. We've gone to Trattoria Marsala. We've done live mobile Monicas from different restaurants like Firefly Grill and so many more. There's a lot that's been done in the last 2 years, and I couldn't have done it without my incredible team. And so many thanks to give, right? So here we go. Jesus listens. And this is from Sarah Young, the late, great Sarah Young. Mighty God, you give strength to the weary and increase the power of the weak. Please help me not to be discouraged by my frailty. I have various kinds of weaknesses, maybe spiritual, emotional, physical. You use them to humble me and then to train me to wait for you in trusting dependence. Your word assures me that those who wait for you will gain a whole new level of strength. I realize that this dependent way of living isn't something I should practice only sometimes. You designed me to look to you continually, experiencing you as the living one who sees me. Waiting for you is closely related to trusting you. The more time I spend focusing on you, the more I grow to trust you. And the more I trust you, the more I want to spend time with you. Waiting for you in the midst of my moments also increases my hope in you. This hope blesses me in countless ways, lifting me above my circumstances and enveloping me in your unfailing love. God bless that. In your hopeful name, Jesus, amen. Always want to make sure that we bring faith to the end of the show. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed today. It was a jam-packed show. And again, thank you one more time to Zach Kimball, working so hard on shooting that and editing it and getting it ready for you. So it's been a wonderful ride of so much that we jammed into our mobile Monicas. I'm so proud. This is going to go up there with some of the proudest moments of my career of what we were able to pull off in a skeleton crew, folks. Seriously. What we pulled off is what a good 15 to 20 people would do at a TV station, but we're able to do it now for you. Tomorrow, Foodie Friday, as we get ready for Mother's Day weekend. Prayers to you, Marilyn. How about a beautiful tour of the Hill? Oh, I like that. All the different stores, the restaurants, the bakeries, my Italian heritage, only Italian community in the United States. Hey, Marilyn, do you have some contacts for us? Because that's where it all starts, and then we take it from there. So, Marilyn, I would love that, and so would my husband, being Italian. Yes, that would be a good one. All right, everybody, grab your umbrella because it is thundering, and it is lightning, and it is raining out there. Some of you may have not experienced it yet, but you might see it because, again, scattered thunderstorms and rain in the forecast. If you haven't experienced it yet, you may. Again, today's high 72. Tomorrow, though, absolutely gorgeous 71, and then 76 and 79 as we get into Mother's Day weekend. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for supporting us. Do the greatest thing you can do, which is share with all your friends and family. Let this have legs and continue to reach thousands. That's the greatest thing you can do for us, and that shows kindness. And we're going to give it right back to you. I'll see you tomorrow morning, again, 7 a.m. with our Foodie Friday and our focus on Hill and Vine. Have a great day.